All right. So the most expensive mistakes that I've made in trading wasn't because of lack of knowledge. It wasn't because that I didn't know what I was doing. They usually happened because I knew exactly what I was supposed to do, but I did something else anyway. So for anybody who's been trading for more than 6 months, that sounds very familiar. And if you're new, well, good news. You're going to be able to find out what is this pattern and how to avoid it. It's very subtle. It's kind of in the background of your mind, but once you catch it, it's kind of easier to overcome it. And I'm going to give you guys a trade breakdown of today's trades and going to give you a quick story of where I've been past few months and what I've been doing and why I haven't been trading as much. All right, so let's get right into it. So the most expensive trading mistake. I'm gonna go over them. So it's not a losing trade. It's not a blown evaluation, and it's not even a bad setup. The most expensive mistake is changing your behavior because of the previous trade. And I'm gonna give you some examples. So examples. For example, if you've been trading for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So your previous trade is a break even, and then you cut the next trade early, especially when it's winning. You cut it early, and then you're in agony of why you cut it early. And another one, the previous trade is a loss, so you hesitate on the next setup and you miss it. And then the previous trade is a miss if you miss the trade, and then what happens on the next one? You chase the next entry. And this one, very common also, the previous trade is a winner that you cut early. And guess what? You hold the next trade way too long, and then it just reverses and you're back to being break even. It's kind of like a pattern that repeats itself as well. So you're often, like everybody, even I have to remind myself, we're often trading the memory of the last trade instead of the reality of the current one that you are about to take. That's why I kind of have a reminder that I turn on my trading view chart. It's this watermark. It's a free indicator if you want to install it, which it's in the corner. It says, I don't know if you can see it. Yes, you can see it. It says every trade is independent. Trade what you see, not what you think. So let's go to the next one. So if I could install this one rule in mine or your brain, it would be every trade is independent. You have to constantly remind yourself of that, because when you're in a mix of trading, it's kind of hard to remember unless you've been doing it over and over again. And this one, the market doesn't know that you missed your last trade. The market doesn't know that you lost your last trade. The market doesn't care if you blow an evaluation. It doesn't care if you're angry. And it doesn't know and doesn't care if you're confident about it. Each setup deserves to be judged on its own. And that's it. That is the most important part. Each setup deserves to be judged on its own. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and delete these and give you guys a quick rundown on today's recap. Go from there. By the way, for those of you that don't know how I trade, I usually trade, I either trade continuation, so if you're continuing a downtrend or uptrend, or I trade some sort of reversal if you sweep some sort of major liquidity. I have courses, free videos on my channel. You can check it out. Anyway, so I'm gonna go over today's recap, and then I'll show you guys the trading setup the past few months. So today I was pretty bearish because I had this weekly open. I had a previous day high. So I had two goals in mind. I was like, if we come up here and sweep these London highs and start going down there, I'll go ahead and take a short. Well, that didn't quite happen. So we opened, we start chopping around. We were going up, and I got my entry signal, which is this nice sweep of the pre-open market towards the downside. The reason why I didn't take this trade was because we didn't sweep this London high. When we are that close, we always sweep it, almost like 95+% of the time. The reason why I didn't take this trade is because in the past, every time I took this trade, something similar to this, the price always comes back up, take my stop loss, and then started delivering. So I waited for that to happen. It never happened, so I missed that trade. And once we sweep this area on the previous open as well, I tried to go for long. I took one long, went to break even. This was the first one here. Took the second one, took partial profit. Remaining was break even, and eventually it delivered. Super choppy. And that's what we've been dealing past 2 months. It's a summer action price. There's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. And rest of the day just got chopped. And Asia was probably a good one to trade, but I was too busy to trade it. It's pretty good. Another thing I've been using a lot is the stochastic indicator. This indicator that kind of shows you either the reversal or the continuation of the trend. So I'm not going to go over it right now. I've made some videos in the past. So I kind of disappeared off making YouTube videos around here because usually I don't trade the summer price action, or I try to avoid it as much as I can. So I pretty much stayed away from trading for about almost 6 or 7 weeks. So most of June and most of July I didn't trade it in, because as you can see, we just pumped to go towards the all-time high. We completely missed it. We chopped for a month and a half, and then we start going down, and then we again missed this area, this monthly indication, and then we pumped over some good news, and then this is where I start coming back to trading again, because I had enough time from work. And now we're just on a downtrend past a couple of days, past week or so. So my projection is we're going to go fill out this unfilled gap from the previous 2 weeks ago. And we're also going to go touch this monthly indication. And we're going to go, because time is fractal. What do I mean by fractal? It's pretty simple. Let's say this is the downtrend. If this is the downtrend on the 1 minute, that happens in 1 hour, that happens in a daily and a monthly, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna give you an example. For example, here, this is very like similar of like beginning of the year that you can see. We kind of, this is a previous last year pumps. So we went over, we broke through this previous resistance level. And if I draw a line, look what we did. We broke through this. This was our indication, and this was our consolidation, correction. We corrected to this level, and then we just pumped to the new all-time high. And usually every new all-time high is roughly around about 35 to 4,500 points. And that's what I was kind of sort of anticipating on this one. Yeah, it was about 4,000 point. And that's what we did. That's what I was waiting for, the price to come hit this area again, but it never did because of war news that was been happening past couple of months. And then we just pumped. We just had like 4 or 5 days that just went straight up. and we didn't get a correction. So now we're getting correction towards the downside. So I'm expecting the price to kind of does something like this and then continue to go back to all-time high again. But who knows? It's NASDAQ. And I usually leave, if you're wondering what are these lines, I usually leave the lines that haven't been hit or swept, or I've been marking all the 1,000 points. So because price reacts off these levels, like it's 29,000, 30,000, 28,000, so on and so forth. You get the idea. Usually on these round numbers, we have a huge reaction in the price. And the DIs are for daily indication. If there's a day, like a daily gap or like a daily previous days that hasn't been swept, I usually like leave them be. And PDH is previous day high, PDL is previous day low, and that's how I measure and kind of come up with my buys for the day whenever I trade the New York Open or whenever I trade the Asia Open. Hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have any question or any comments regarding that most expensive mistake that most traders make, or if you've noticed it in your own trading, or this is the first time you hear about it and it kind of brings up like a light bulb moment, just leave it in the comment. Let me know what you think and let me know what you want to see. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.